We're all on a journey, and it's our responsibility to be self-aware, to realize if we're moving in the right direction. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Ask Steven. I am here live on Life University campus. It's so great to be back. I first and foremost want to apologize for any audio or video quality issues. I'm obviously outside. There's a bit of wind coming in. There's also some guys doing some leaf blowers in January. And I'm also recording off of my phone here as my main camera unfortunately got stolen. So bear with me, but nonetheless, it's good to be back. Good to be making these Q&A videos. I got questions that I want to help answer for you guys, and I want to do more of this format of just kind of pop and shoot videos. I'm here in between classes, so I thought I'd come outside, don't have to wear a mask and I can just talk to you guys. So I got a question here from my man Alex. What's good, Alex? He asked, has anyone ever told you that there's some semblance to Matthew McConaughey? I've actually gotten that before. I think the glasses are a bit of disguise, but all right. I'm also curious what motivated you to pursue chiropractic school instead of other medical professions such as physical therapy, physician, dentist, nurse, or the like. I've now watched several of your videos. Great work. Keep it up. You seem highly driven and passionate. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for the compliments. And I chose this question here because this speaks to the heart of so many of us. Those young adult years, pivotal years, where we're a little bit lost and maybe confused about what the future is going to unveil for ourselves, but such a critical moment in our life because our life is unveiling before our eyes without us often realizing it. I'll explain my story really briefly with you here, Alex, and for those watching. When I entered undergraduate year, I felt that I was called in the healthcare field. I feel that is very similar to many of us. We feel like we're called into the healthcare field, but there may be some questions regarding what avenue that's going to look like. Not all of us grew up in a family of doctors, so the obvious path was to become a doctor, or grew up in a chiropractic family, so we become a chiropractor. That's just the thing to do. There's a lot of unanswered questions with how this process is going to unfold. I knew at the very core that I wanted to help people heal naturally without the use of drugs or surgery. I knew that, but had no idea how the future is going to unfold. So starting my freshman year, I made the decision, as I highly recommend you guys to do, is to shadow different practices, different specialties to figure out and get a taste and a feel for what it's actually like. So I started to shadow physical therapist. I was shadowing a chiropractor. I was shadowing a family medicine doc. I was shadowing an orthopedic surgeon. I did shadow a chiropractor, and I shadowed a naturopathic doctor. And all of those, at the time, the taste that I had was actually the naturopathic doctor. And he had told me, as I started studying underneath him, and I loved the work that he was doing and aligned with my core belief and philosophy with what I wanted to do. And he had said, well, if you want to do what I'm doing, I don't recommend you go to naturopathic school. I recommend you go to medical school. And I said, okay, doc, fine by me. So moving forward, I was pre-med. So I was preparing to go into medical school. And as I started to advance down that path, getting involved with the pre-med club, becoming the executive club member, getting involved with the admissions process and networking, building relationships, doing the stuff you're supposed to do, the more I had a distaste for medical school. And it's nothing against medicine, it's just I quickly realized it wasn't the path for me. But as I started to go along into my junior year, I kind of felt stuck, like I had no hope. I was almost at the period where I was going to start my application process, and things just didn't feel right. And now looking back, I understand, well, of course, that was the universe or God revealing to me that this wasn't the right path, but I didn't really see it that clearly at the time. And so luckily I had parents that were fortunate enough to grace me, to tell me that if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. It's clearly not your path. And I was so blessed to receive that advice, so I decided, hey, I'm not going to do it. Went through a period of uncertainty. At that same time, coincidentally, I had a neck injury, wound me up in a chiropractor's office, and a couple of visits, I was completely healed, back to normal, thought I was absolutely incredible. And as I started talking with the doc, he knew that I was kind of confused with the avenue with where I wanted to go. He knew I was a college student interested in the healthcare world. And he asked me if I ever thought of wanting to become a chiropractor, laughed, and said, I thought about it, but I just don't see myself wanting to adjust people's spines all day. And he said, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. He goes, well, no, what is your core purpose? What do you actually want to have happen? I said, well, I would love to help people heal naturally without the use of drugs or surgery. And he said, well, what did I just do to you? You got me there, doc. And he said, well, look, Steven, I see cases like yours all day, every day. But what's even more exciting is to see those people who come in who I'm their last hope. They've been through all the avenues of healthcare, and now they wound up in my office hoping for anything, and to get them better and to see hope come back into their lives, to see that transformation occur, there's no greater feeling than that. Very interesting. He said, hey, why don't you just shadow my office, see how you like it, and just see what's going on here. I said, okay. So I started shadowing in his office. Over time, took a while for me to kind of wrestle it out, but then I realized it revealed to me that, wow, this profession's incredible, and that's ultimately what led me here at Life University studying chiropractic, now about to graduate. Absolutely incredible. And if you would have asked me at the beginning of my undergraduate career that this is how this process would unveil, I would have thought you were nuts and crazy. Just like if you ask me what the next 10 years of my career is going to look like right now, I would think you're nuts and crazy. That's how the path goes. It gets revealed to you at the right time, and you get to see the transformation as you look through perspective over time. So, Alex, I'm assuming this question is because you're also kind of in that period, as many of us here are. And I would say allow the process to be revealed to you. If I could go back and tell myself in the undergraduate years, I would, there was so much anxiety and angst and worry during those times, I would have told myself that, hey, just allow the process to unfold. Take the next right step, right? And that's what was occurring, but I didn't see it in the moment. I was taking the right steps by starting to shadowing those office. I was taking the right steps by getting a good mentor, the naturopath. I took the right steps by kind of obeying what he thought was the right path for me. He was wrong, but only I could figure that out by going down that path. And then being consciously aware of what path is right for me by the response that I'm getting on the journey that I'm currently on. We're all on a journey, and it's our responsibility to be self-aware, to realize if we're moving in the right direction. And I also want to add that it's okay to be lost. It's okay to be uncertain. Sit and rest with that, and then allow the next move to be revealed at the right time. You see, there are individuals who are born, I believe, that are born to be dentists, that are born to be physical therapists, born to be physicians, surgeons, born to be chiropractors. But it's ultimately our duty, just like we were called into the healthcare field, to figure out through the process of time where our journey is leading us towards. And a lot of the times it's not figuring it out, but it's just allowing the process to unfold. And so in the video here, from a story that my mentor told me recently, he was telling me a story about how he took his son out to, it's like a survival camp thing. And so the lead instructor was, before they sent them out, was telling him a story of this young boy who got lost on one of these trips. And as he was going, he realized that he got separated and he didn't know where he was. He began to panic. And so as he began to panic, he began running around frequently. Okay, and so as they had sent someone like a rescuer to come find him, they sent him to go track the trails. And as he was following his trails, nice and easy, he stopped. And he found that exact location where he realized that the kid had lost it. He realized by the steps were increasing, he was frantically pacing back and forth, going in different directions. He could tell that he was nervous and paced. And that's the last thing that you want to do. As they ended up finding the kid completely exhausted and sat down by a tree. Apparently a rainstorm had come through and he froze to death. And the intention of the story was to say, if you ever realize that you get lost, the worst thing to do is to get panicked, to get worried, to start freaking out. It says because as you do that, you lose your grounding, and that will make for bad decisions. So the best thing to do in that scenario, once you realize that you're off course, is to say, okay, I realize I'm lost, but let me familiarize myself with the surroundings. Let me understand, oh, I see there's about 4 hours of sunlight left. Oh, I see there's some rain clouds coming in. Okay, well, if that rain's coming in, I'm going to need to protect myself from the rain. I only have 4 hours to do so. So what can I do around me to help build shelter to protect myself from the weather and from the night that's quickly approaching? You see, as you pause, even if things aren't going the way that you want it to in life, or maybe perhaps you have a decision you have to make about the future for your career, sometimes it takes to pause and look around and see what's around you. And that's the purpose of the story. Is that the next step that we need to take in our decision, on our journey, in our life, it's not try to figure it all out. But I want to be home and have a warm meal with my family. Well, that's what you want, but you can't do that right now. You're lost in the woods. What's the alternative? What needs to happen right now? So sometimes when we're on our journey, we just want to figure out what we need to do, and we have to do this and this, and how is this going to plan out, and what's the future going to look like? I get it. That's where I was myself. But maybe what we need to do is say, okay, where am I right now? Well, I'm starting this program. I don't necessarily know what I want to do. Maybe I can shadow some potential options. Okay? Well, I really like this one doctor I shadowed with. It just felt right. I liked what he did there. Maybe I can ask him to be a mentor, shadow him some more. Ask him for some advice. What should I do to be like what he's doing? He wants me to go to med school. Wonderful. I'll follow his advice. You see? That's how my path got unled. I just wish I was conscious of it in the moment. It would have saved me a lot of anxiety. You see? So I encourage you, Alex, I encourage everyone that you're on the path and it's happening for you. If you're here, there's a good chance chiropractic's on your mind. That's absolutely incredible. I hope that someone here needed to hear this. And perhaps I'm just another messenger on your own journey. I hope this video helped, and I'll see you guys in the next one.